Man Beat Man is back.
Oh, my gosh, the man got messed up.
This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have delivered.
This is your boy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash True Inferno. Back at it with another Kingdom Hearts 3 commentary video for you guys. Yes. So, last week I gave you guys my college football predictions. I was going to give you guys my NFL predictions this week, but then I realized the NFL starts next week. So, what do I talk about? But we're going to keep the topic in sports. We're going to keep the topic in NFL. There's a lot of topics that's been going on over the last few weeks, over the last month or so. Obviously, you got Popeyes with their chicken sandwich going up against not KFC, but Chick-fil-A, Wendy's joining the mix on Twitter and things of that nature. It's like a bunch of stuff is going on. But the latest thing that just happened, and I got to talk about this, is we're going to stick with the NFL, and that is Andrew Luck out the blue retiring. This is big because we talking about arguably one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league this year, over the past few years. The problem with Andrew Luck is he's been injury prone. Like, he's been hit with injuries. Like, going into this season, I think he had an ankle and a shoulder injury at the same time or something along those lines. But basically, he was going into the season leaving people guessing whether or not he'll be healthy or not for week 1. And it was like a couple weeks ago rather, he said, oh yeah, I'm going to target week 1. I'm going to be back for week 1. And here's the thing. The Indianapolis Colts have a squad. Like, they have a squad. Like, when Andrew Luck first started off and he was drafted to replace Peyton Manning, and they got rid of Peyton Manning, Indianapolis did, in favor of Andrew Luck, they did not have an offensive line. They hardly had any help for him. And he kept getting beat up year after year after year. And he kept getting injured and knocked out and missed a few games year after year after year. Now, he did lead them to the playoffs. He did lead them to divisional wins. Division crowns rather, and he took them to the divisional round of the playoffs, even to the AFC Conference Championship game one time. And I would never forget that one game where the Colts were down like 44-13 or something like that, and Andrew Luck led that comeback and won that game. I saw that game. That was an unbelievable game. I never seen anything like that. It was really, really dope. And last year they had a squad. The problem was they went into the Kansas City Chiefs, who were big time. And then, when they made it to the AFC Conference Championship game that one time, they had a decent squad, but they went into Tom Brady. And we all know what's up with Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. And this year, like, some people were considering them as Super Bowl contenders because they had a really good squad. They got a lot of help in. They actually got an offensive line. The defense is actually good. So things was looking promising for the Colts, even though they would have to deal with the Kansas City Chiefs, the San Diego Chargers, and the New England Patriots. So those 3 teams will still be a force. And for some dumb reason, people want to include the Cleveland Browns in that mix. And I'm like, stop it. That's another topic for another day. Possibly next week. But anywho, things were looking good for Indianapolis. They were like amongst the top 4 or 5 contenders from the AFC. I would have to say, if I were to look at them before Andrew Luck announced his retirement, I would probably put the Indianapolis Colts 3rd. Behind the Chiefs and behind the Patriots. And they would still have an outsized chance. Like, if the Chiefs and the Patriots somehow made each other in the divisional round and the Colts got an easier matchup and they end up in the AFC Conference Championship game, and they all remain healthy, that is, anything could happen. So, it could have been their year where they went to the Super Bowl and possibly win it all. But then, again, 2 weeks ago, he said, yo, I'm going to target week 1 or a few weeks or a couple weeks ago, he said that in the interview. And then all of a sudden he just announced, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to retire. And there's a lot of things to tackle on with this subject. So first off, the fans boo him. Like, okay, let me rephrase that. The majority of the bands at that preseason game, he was there at their last preseason game. I don't know who they play. I don't know who they won. Nobody cares about preseason. To be honest, I believe I genuinely speak for everybody when I say nobody cares for preseason, But the fans boo him as he was leaving the field because they found out that same night that Andrew Luck was retiring, and the fans, the majority of the fans booed him. So do they have the right to? Yeah, because let me set the stage for you guys real quick. I take it from a guy who knows about what it's like for your star player to out the blue retire at an early age. Barry Sanders did it. Calvin Johnson was the latest to do it, and I think Warren Moon did it out in Houston as well. But here's the difference between all three of those superstars and Andrew Luck. Barry Sanders and Warren Moon, assuming that he did do this, I don't remember who the third name was, or the other name was, but they both retired in July. In terms of Calvin Johnson, he retired in March. So for Andrew Luck to retire a week and a half prior to the start of the season is blasphemous. Like, so the fans have every right to boo him. I don't blame him one bit. And then you got, again, you heard my setup. Like, the pieces were lining up for them to be legit Super Bowl contenders. Well, even if they had Andrew Luck, I still wouldn't see them going to the Super Bowl. It would be between the Chiefs and the Patriots, as most people would believe. Again, don't get me started with that Cleveland Brown crap. But they would still be in the mix. And now they're going backwards, because I don't even know who's going to be their new starting quarterback is now. It's an unknown to me. But at this point, it's irrelevant. And can they still win the division? Yeah, I got to see what the Houston Texans are like. I know the Jacksonville Jaguars, they fell off since last year, ever. But it's a lot to consider. But it's a tough one. I got to look and see what their competition, the AFC South, is looking like in order for me to say this team is going to win the AFC South. It's hard to say. I really rather need to look at this. Now, does his former teammates, should they be mad at him? Well, I found out on First Take the answer to that is no, because they had inside information, unlike the fans. They had inside information, like management looked at him and they saw sign language and body signs, things of that nature, and they could tell, like, you know what, this guy may retire early, and that word could have spread throughout his former teammates. So should they be mad at him? I mean, no, they should be disappointed, because again, everything was falling into place for them. Like, they could have made it to the Super Bowl, but they shouldn't be mad at him, because they probably should have expected this. But again, it's just the timing. The timing was just really off with me. And not to mention, he gave that interview like a couple of weeks ago, talking saying, yo, I know I'm injured, but I'm going to try to make it back by week 1. And I found out, like, in the midst of all this, like, this dude loves football. Like, no, forget the NFL. He loves football. So for him to retire, it's eating him up. So how do I feel about all this? I mean, it sucks, because let's be real. Obviously, I got to root for my Lions. I also like the New England Patriots. And when I play any football game, from Madden to Techno Bowl or Game Day or whatever football game, I always pick in the Buffalo Bills. Mostly. Sometimes I pick the Miami Dolphins, but I mostly pick the Buffalo Bills. But I still like the Indianapolis Colts as well. Historically wise, rather, in terms of all the teams I like over the years, the Lions, the Patriots, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Indianapolis Colts. I really like those teams. And to some degree, I have to put the Atlanta Falcons in there when they had Michael Vick. But it sucks for Andrew Luck to just out the blue say, oh, I'm retired, because I know what that's like. Again, Calvin Johnson. Now, I wasn't really involved in football like that when Barry Sanders did it, but I was definitely involved in football when Calvin Johnson did it. So I know what that's like. But again, Calvin Johnson did it in March. Barry Sanders did it in July. Andrew Luck did it a week and a half before the season started, late August. So it's just the timing, and that interview, it makes him look bad. It makes him look really, really bad. And he got some awards, like he did, like, he was the charts in some categories, throughout his career. But he won't be remembered as one of the all-time greats. Like, let's be real, because there's going to be more quarterbacks coming in. Look, I mean, we got really good quarterbacks in the league right now who are young, and Andrew Luck gonna get lost. Like, he gonna be remembered as the guy who retired a week and a half before the season starts, and that's how I'm gonna remember him. And it sucks, but it is what it is, man. Like, as a somebody who likes football, and for me to see this, I can't give him a pass. Like, I have to, you know, go at him. Like, I have to, like, not go at him, because I really could care less like that. I don't care like that, but I can't give him a pass. Say, you know what? I'm gonna let that. No, I can't do that. I'm gonna be like, man, if I was an Indianapolis Colts fan, if I was living in that city, and that is a gorgeous city. I walked around that stadium last year. That is, well, not a city, but downtown. The downtown scenario is dope. Really like the downtown scenario, the downtown setup. If I was a fan that was actually living in Indianapolis, I would be upset too. I'll put it at that. So I'm gonna call it a wrap. So with all of that said, y'all know who this is. This is your boy, the new Jay Gatsby, aka the new Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.